Hello, bonjour, namaskar. Welcome to the Great India Festival. Myself Raghavendra Rampur, photographer by passion, software engineer by profession. Today I am here to do the photography workshop on Indian heritage and culture. Welcome all. Key factors involved in the photography, I've listed them here. First one being very important is the composition involved. This has a lot of factors: how you actually compose the image, the light involved, the angle, the background and the foreground, all other aspects. So it definitely, I think it talks it touches upon the next bullet, which is being adventurous and creative, which matters a lot. I think the weather, the position or the angle you take the picture and the environment involved plays a lot of important role in there. And of course it is left to photographer that I suggest, like, don't hesitate to experiment. If sometimes you get into the water, you lie down to take a picture. It could be an art building or a huge famous architectural or historical heritage structure. You may want to show the grandeur of that architecture of that building, so you may want to kind of change the angle, sit down, lie down. So those are some which I meant don't hesitate to experiment. Of course you break the rules, that's what I suggest, because the one of the key rule in the photography is to let the light fall on the subject. You don't have to follow that all the time, because sometimes you can shoot against the light. You get beautiful photographs as well. I think silhouettes are made from that as well, but there are a lot of other aspects involved. You will see them in my photographs, which I'm going to showcase in my next slides. The last one, which is very important for me, which I follow, is spend more time with the camera, not in front of the computer. What I mean there is less of editing using Photoshop or Lightroom or any other tools. So I try to get the photograph completely done through the camera. Of course, you know the camera settings and every aspects, and you master them, and you experiment, of course, but then you need a bit of post-processing after, which I try to keep it minimal. Okay, that's all on the key factors. Let's move on to seeing some of the photos I've taken on Indian heritage and culture, and explanation on what they are and how I kind of visualize or compose those images. Okay, here comes the first picture which I'm showcasing here. So this was photographs in TGF event itself. It was then called Festival of India in 2017. This was called Chow Dance. So this was performed by Binapani Rupchand Dance Academy in 2017. The beauty of this dance is, and it definitely shows in the culture, Indian culture, that it's vibrant, colorful. So when I was trying to compose this picture, I was trying to get the so first thing is the character in this. This is Ravana, which is one of the character from Ramayana, which is depicted here in the chow dance which they performed on the one of the aspects of Ramayana they did. So the way Ravana was performing, so I wanted to capture the vibrancy and the 10 heads which Ravana carries performing, and the makeup or the accessories they used is amazing to visualize. So this was taken an angle when the performer was almost on this at the end of the stage performing and about to jump. I wanted to capture the colors and beauty involved. Of course, as you see, the background is dark, so I had to position myself so that I don't get any distractions at the background. So this, of course, that's what I mentioned about experimenting and be adventurous and moving around. There will, of course, there are a lot of people on the the audience in the audience. I had to move around and get this angle to get this beautiful photograph. Right, this photograph is a little girl performing Indian folk dance. So this was photographed in a community event. As you see from this previous photograph as well as this one, the background is completely dark. That is another aspect where you, as a photographer, bringing your creativity and trying to be an angle where you get an angle where you don't get a lot of distractions in the photograph background. So this was on the stage. Of course, there were 3 to 4 girls along with this young girl performing, and I had to get a shot where she was in a dance position and the light is right. This is where I was kind of mentioning of the creativity and being being experimental doesn't matter. Decorating a Parvati idol, and this was for the special occasion. It was called Shiva Parvati Kalyana Mahotsav. That means Shiva and Parvati. Shiva is god, Indian great god, and Parvati is his wife, and Kalyan Mahotsav is the marriage ceremony. So every year on an auspicious day, on a particular day, they do this Shiva Parvati Kalyan Mahotsav. A lot of deities attend this, and in preparation for the special puja, they do decorate the idols with jewelry, dresses. As you see in this, you can see that green color sari for the idol, and as well as the jewelries which all the ladies decorating the idol. On the left side, which is blurred, is Shiva's idol, which is already decorated. But this is one of the angle where this is again the experimenting and creativity comes in the picture. When the event is going on, photographers has to be on the constant move because there are a lot of people doing their duty, like as you see the decorating the idol, but you need to find an angle or a position where you get a good shot, or what or the composition you wanted to bring in the photograph. So this is an angle where you see the ladies hands, which of course they are decorating the idol with all the jewelry and the dresses. So this is one of the shot which is very difficult to shoot in the event because a lot of people moving around, but of course as a photographer you need to be focused on your job and get the most beautiful moments or photographs which we can capture. So I think it is left definitely to the wildest imagination of photographer how she wants to get the photograph, but this is one of the angle as well. Alright, the next photograph I have here is a performer performing a Bharatanatyam dance, which is one of the traditional Indian classical dance. This was again photographed in TGF 2017. So Bharatanatyam is also called Sadhiratam, and it's a major form of Indian classical dance that's originated in southern part of India, Tamil Nadu. It has flourished in temples and courts of southern India since ancient times. It's very famous nowadays. There are a lot of performers across the world who's learning, and it's one of the beautiful dance to watch. So in this photograph, again, as you see, the performers are on the stage, and the light on the and an angle are the different forms or the dance steps involved in Bharatanatyam. All I think you need to be At the right moment, you need to click the picture to capture each move in the dance. This is one of them where the performer is performing the Bharatanatyam, and of course, um, where she stands and the light and an angle does matter to capture the entirety of that specific step in the dance. I tried to minimize in an angle to get as much as less distraction in the background. As you see, there are lights and some decorations at the background, but the focus of this photograph is the performer and the expressions and her dress and her ornaments and her movements, and the body posture involved, which actually depicts the beautiful Bharatanatyam dance, which is one of the famous Indian classical dance. Okay, this photograph is capturing the celebration, which is Ganesha festival, is one of the famous festival in Hindu culture in India, and of course across the world. Hindus do celebrate that. In this picture, as you see, there are idols Ganesha, but the focus is on another idol which is called Gauri. Gauri is mother of Ganesha, who gave birth to Ganesha. So during the Ganesha festival in India, you have these idols made out of clay are sold in the market for festive celebrations, where people come in and buy those idols on the festive day and perform the special pujas and celebrate the Ganesha festival. At the end of the day, or the specified number of days, they do let these idols into the water, submerged into the water. That's a tradition. So in this picture, this was in the market where all the idols were kept on the table, and it was a beautiful visual for the eyes. The focus being the Gauri idol, and as you see, even Ganesha around and in the background. So I wanted to capture uh, the festive mood of this Ganesha festival. Well, this is my next photograph, which is an young woman in a traditional Indian silk saree holding diya or a lamp, celebrating Diwali festival on the occasion of Diwali. Diwali is also called Deepavali in many other languages, Indian languages. Many of you know, Diwali is festival of lights, a biggest Hindu festival celebrated by Hindus across the world, and it's a celebration of win, um, winning of light over dark, good over evil. So there are a lot of stories behind it, why Diwali is celebrated. So let's talk about the photograph. I wanted to photograph an young woman with celebrative or a festive mood on the occasion of Diwali. So she, in a vibrant, colorful Indian silk saree, holding diya, showcasing the beauty of Diwali festival and Indian traditional wear. So this was photographed in a house, as you see at the background. The lights are off, and there is enough light on her and showcasing her Indian attire, sari, also jewelry, and the lamp in her hand, and the smile, showcasing her happiness while celebrating the Diwali festival. Okay, this photograph is called Yakshagana performance. Yakshagana is a traditional theatre developed in Dakshin Kannada, Udupi, Uttar Kannada, Shimoga, and western parts of Chikmagalur districts in Karnataka state of India, and also in Kasaragod district in Kerala state, which combines the dance, music, dialogue, costume, makeup, and stage techniques with a unique style and form. It's very beautiful performance or a dance to watch. Um, They perform Ramayana, Mahabharata episodes with the different Yakshagana steps, styles involved. Very vibrant costume, makeup, and a lot goes behind getting ready for the performance. A lot of effort, hours together of makeup and costume, and the performance, and the performers put in a lot of effort with the costume on, and performing and being in the character. So that's Yakshagana. I think many many Karnataka and people from Karnataka and Kerala, from southern part of India, understand how beautiful this dance is, and performances are. Let's talk about the photograph. This was in one of the community event where the performance was staged, and performance was arranged and it was performed. This is one of the character which is part of Ramayana, where the character is standing as you see the performer delivering a dialogue. So wanted to get the beauty of this character, and with the Yakshagana attire and all the ornaments and style showing there. Again, as you see the how I composed it, trying to kind of avoid the distractions and an angle. Of course, I had to move around to make sure it actually captured the uniqueness and beauty of this character in Yakshagana. So this is part of Indian culture as well. The next photograph here actually depicts an Indian farmer plowing the field in a traditional way. So this is a rural village model installation at a lake in Jaipur, Bangalore city in India. So the rural village model, showing every aspect of village life and how it was. So in this photograph, as you see the farmer plowing the field in a traditional way, and this I wanted to capture that the traditional way of plowing, and an angle where farmers in action, and you can see the balls in the picture as well, and the tool he's using. Of course, these are the depictions, not the real one. It's a model, easy to capture, but this shows the way it was done in a tradition. The plowing the field by the farmers earlier days. Of course, now with industrialization, there's a lot of technology and machinery involved nowadays, but this is something which was done earlier. There could be places where it is still being done in India and other countries as well, some of the countries, but this actually shows the powerful, or the way the Indian farmer was plowing the field. While photographing, because this is entire village, but this aspect I wanted to capture only this part, so I had to kind of eliminate others. So I had to move around in an angle at a corner of this is a lake, near the lake park, and where I wanted to capture only those. And as I said, this is a village model, so there are a lot of other things going on around and background. As you see in the background, it's a kind of they're showing the market as well, or the village model. So to capture this, you need to make sure that subjects are in focus. So that is where you see the bulls is using, the farmer is using, and the farmer in action, and the tool plow is using to plow the field. So my next photograph here is Dasara doll festive display, which is also called Dasara Gombe Habba. Dasara is one of the India's festival celebrated during October time period. Of course, it is according to the Hindu calendar. There is a reason why it was celebrated. There are many stories behind it when you go to Ramayana or Mahabharata, especially Mahabharata. So Dasara Gombe is a doll. So as you see in the pictures, a lot of different dolls being pictured, or you could call the miniatures of the instruments, or the gods, or the idols, statues, animals. So the family who follows this display every year on year collect these over a period and assemble and display it during that Dasara festival. So this was in one of the family's house here in Ottawa, showcasing the Indian festival, which is Gombe Habba, is a traditional festival display of dolls and figurines in India, and it is celebrated by enthusiastically during Dasara. Many of the Indian families here in Ottawa, and of course across the world in India as well, celebrate this. There are, depending on how big the collection is, the display will be accordingly of the same size, and it actually shows the vibrancy and different culture of India, and the idols or the miniature figurines involved will tell you a different story, or an action involved. So it varies across. About the photograph, as you see as a whole, I wanted to capture the grandeur and of the display, making sure everything else, everything is captured, all the figurines are in focus and shown. Of course, in the forefront at the bottom, you see all those puja materials at the bottom placed for performing the puja, but all the figurines which are actually displayed on the steps. In the tradition, in the Indian tradition, it was always enthusiasm during the younger days to visit each house. Of course, friends and families house where what to understand and see what's their collection is, and it actually depicts the happiness and festive mood among the kids as well as the adults and elder people as well, who are involved in the decorations and display, and also passing on this tradition to the younger generations. So this is part of the culture in India. So this photograph is again Yakshagana performance. The role played by this performer is Hanuman, is part of the Ramayana epic. This is a part of the Yakshagana which I explained earlier, is a South Indian dance, famous dance. So about the photograph, the Hanuman in the depiction was sitting down and giving an expression as a part of the play. So this, I composed it to capture that act of Hanuman and showcasing his Yakshagana the role, as well as the costume, the makeup. As you see, the Hanuman is monkey god, as if many of you know the Ramayana, and then that actually displays. So again, you see in the photograph, what it matters is the angle and the background. Another aspect which I captured here is the reflection on the floor, because Hanuman is sitting down, so you see a bit of reflection on the floor, and which actually is part of the photographs when I composed it. This photograph is showing a temple, which is Kukkesri Subramanya Temple. This is Subramanya is a place in Karnataka in India. Kukki Subramanya is one among the 7 holy places created by Parashuram. As you see in the photograph, I wanted to capture the grandeur of the temple architecture. As I mentioned about the environment aspect, this was photographed during the monsoon season in India. So you see the clouds behind, a bit of clouds, and it is a gloomy day with not much light. So that is where I believe, with an experience and a photographic knowledge and on how to use the camera, and another aspect to bring it to your notice is the angle I took this picture is sitting down. It is at the floor level where it can show the architecture and grandeur of the temple, and even on the gloomy day, as you see the way the temple is showing up, it's in a white marble, and it is showing the beauty of the place and the temple here. This next photograph depicting the heritage of India. This is a temple, Sri Sringeri Sharada Peetham, Sringeri, Karnataka in India. Sringeri is also called as Sri Kshetra Sringeri. Is a hill town and a taluk headquarters located in Chikmagalur district in the Indian state of Karnataka. It is the site of the first Matha. It was established by Adi Shankara, Hindu theologian and exponent of Advaita Vedanta philosophy. And this was in 88th century CE. And as you see the temple, it's more colorful and showing the intricate details there. Also, this was photographed on the in the monsoon season in India. As you see, the skies are gloomy, and the angle in which it was taken to show the grandeur of the architecture and the heritage of India in this temple. So this next photograph is a Sacred Heart Cathedral. This is in Shivamogga, a place in Karnataka state in India, and this is the second largest church in India, the Sacred Heart Church. It's a fine example of architecture marvel of Shivamogga. It is also it's a Catholic church spread over an 18,000 square feet, and structure of the church is quite incredibly built in Roman and Gothic styles, and houses a big prayer hall with a huge space of 5,000 people. However, a statue of Jesus is the salient feature of church, attracting people in the large numbers. It is a beautiful place to visit in Shivamogga. About the photograph, of course, to show the grand architecture of this church and in the entirety, I had to position in an angle to capture the entire church and how it is architectured, and again with not a lot of light, because it is photographed during the monsoon season. As you see the clouds behind showing, and also a bit of while composing, I bit of kind of left space at the front of the church, which is actually showing the grand entrance pathway to this church. It's a beautiful place to visit. So this next photograph showing Rangoli. Rangoli is an art form originating in Indian subcontinent in which patterns are created on the floor or maybe a table lamp using materials such as powdered limestone, red ochre, dry rice flour, colored sand or quartz powder, or use flower petals and colored rocks as well. It's an everyday practice in Hindu households, however, the colors are preferred during festivals and other important celebrations as it's time consuming. Rangoli are usually made during Diwali, Tihar, Onam, Pongal, Sankranti, and other Hindu festivals in the Indian subcontinent, and are most often made during Diwali. Designs are passed from one generation to the next, keeping both the art form and the tradition alive. As you see in the photograph, one captures the grand colors and the beauty of this Rangoli art, which was actually on the floor. It gives a beautiful, colorful, and vibrant picture to see and enjoy the beauty of it. I hope you all enjoyed the session today. Thank you.